Well, I'm back after a while. Sorry for the delay. I've been traveling with work quite a bit. As Mark Twain said, the reports of my death are greatly exaggerated. Not that there were any reports like that, I don't think, but anyway, I'm back. Trying to do a few things. Don't have a whole lot of time, but I hope to get the auxiliary tank installed, get the main tank installed. I've done some painting and sprucing up here. That's the accelerator, and pardon the junk in the background, but that's the brake pedal. Anyway, cleaned out the shop enough where I can get around this thing for a little bit. So stay tuned, we'll see how it looks. To catch up here, I didn't shoot any video, but I rhino lined or raptor lined the skid plate and the fuel tank. This is a new fuel tank I got. Let's see if I can pan back a little bit. Skid plate over for the auxiliary tank, the battery tray, and I didn't bed liner the brake and accelerator bracket, but I did blast it and prime it and paint it. So all that's kind of going back in. I've already put the bracket in there that holds the straps for the auxiliary tank. I've installed the sending unit and pickup for the auxiliary tank, and I'm going to try to get that up into place as my next plan. So let's see how we do. Okay, I have the new auxiliary tank and the skid plate up in place now. Sorry, I don't have a wider angle lens. It's a little bit confusing because these straps come bowed as though they're bowed to fit the shape of the tank, but they're actually bowed backwards because these tabs here wind up, instead of going out, they wind up going in, and you can't make it work. So I'm gonna probably trim that or beat it back flat, I don't know which. But it's all up and in. I'll have to get a look at this end of it down here. And I had to get on the web to see pictures of how other people did that. Just saying. Because this thing kind of had me fooled the way they had the bow in there. And it shows it bowed backwards on the website too, from various manufacturers. But this is the way I got it to work. If you get it to work with it bowed inward, you're more persistent than I am. Alright, so this is the auxiliary fuel tank. At this point I got the fuel outlet hose connected, I got the vent hose to the filler neck. Filler neck's installed. Going up the side there. The big inlet for the filler neck. Got the sending unit wires connected. Still have that little bitty barb fitting up there for, I don't know if you can see it. I don't think so. But that's the return for, that's where the return line connects, which I'm not going to be using, so I got to put a cap on that, and then this will be complete. Ooh, so next, I'm going to install this main tank. I Raptor lined it yesterday, or the day before. I'll crawl up underneath there and show you what we got. So this is up under the rear of the vehicle. Here you can see we've got the perches for the rear tank, the main tank if you will, and they had rubber on them at one point. You can still see the remnants of it here. So I've got some rubber I'm gonna put up on there with some contact cement. Once the strap is pulled across the tank and sucked up in there, it won't go anywhere, but I got some rubber cement or contact cement that should hold it in there. Alright, so I have these pieces of rubber. I'm going to glue on the tank perches just to keep metal on metal, and I'm going to glue them onto this contact cement. Alright, I've got glue on all these, contact cement. I'll let it tack up. Also glued these little pieces of rubber. So, not very good at working with one hand like some people are, but let's see what we can do. Alright. Alright, this doesn't have to be perfection because it's going to meet the tank regardless. If I get it on there a little crooked, and nobody's ever going to see it. Okay, the fuel tank's all in. At least it's mounted. One thing I could recommend if you're doing one of these, that fuel filler inlet is hard against the top of the frame, and you do have a little left to right play. Make sure you shove the tank all the way to the left before you cinch it down, because you need enough room to get a clamp on. You know, there's maybe an 1.25 inches of hose will be going over that, and I need the clamp to go on behind that ridge there. So and when I first put it on, there wouldn't have been enough room, but I'd loosened it and I shoved it all the way to the left, tightened it back up, and now it looks good. Okay, you see I got the vent line and the main fill line connected to the fill tube coming down from up above. Alright, looking up underneath, you can see I have the fuel line connected. I don't have the sending unit wire connected yet because it's looking kind of cheesy up in there, and I'm going to replace it. So I'm just going to leave it dangle, and I'm going to put it on the punch list. Okay, this is underside the fuel cutover valve. This is coming off the main. This goes, circles around and goes up to the engine. And the one in the back there goes to the auxiliary tank. We got some cutoff lines here that are the old return lines. And I took out the one going forward. So that's all hooked up, bolted in. Fuel lines as far as I can get it. Fuel system is as far as I can get it for right now. It still needs a sending unit connector for the main tank and a little plug on the auxiliary.